Ever made a small change in HubSpot only to break a critical workflow you didn't know existed? I'm Christian Bond, founder of Howley.io, and today we're looking at workflow tracing so you can see every dependency across your entire portal before you hit save. So let's get into it. On our canvas map, we see all of our workflows as nodes right here. And on these nodes, we see that they are active versus inactive. We can see what has connections, which is denoted by the purple dot right here. And what happens if we click into a workflow node. Once I've clicked into this MQL form submission, we can see that it enrolls into another workflow called Create Lifecycle Deal. So let's look into this a little bit further. We can see that this workflow specifically called MQL form submission, it sends an email campaign and then it rolls automatically into another workflow. So we can see across the connections here that this one starts the Create Lifecycle Deal via workflow enrollment. If I click into Create Lifecycle Deal, this workflow right here, we can see that there are additional enrollments here whereby the Create Lifecycle Deal enrolls into the Nurture Sequence DB. So this original workflow called MQL form submission, it starts the workflow called Create Lifecycle Deal. And then across the Create Lifecycle Deal, we can see that this one starts the Nurture Sequence DB workflow. Well, what happens if I click onto the Nurture Sequence DB? All of a sudden, that's the last gap in that step. So what we can do is we can go to the MQL form submission and we can move that up right here to see the entire life cycle of this workflow series. One thing we can also do is we can toggle on all connections at the same time. And when we do this, we can see that immediately there are lots of workflows here that are all interconnected either through properties or list enrollment or direct enrollments. If you prefer a different view, there's different ways to look at all your workflows, either with direct connections as such, or you can do routed connections. This is my favorite. To only see active workflows, you can even hide all inactive ones, and then you can start to create your canvas map. Once you can create your canvas map here, you don't have to use a tool like Lucidchart or a tool like Miro. Once you create your canvas map, you can even export this directly to Lucidchart to show this upwards to your team or work across. Lastly, if you want to make any changes to any workflows that you see, for example, the Create Lifecycle Deal, Howley allows you to open this workflow directly in HubSpot. So we're taken right to that workflow. And that is how you're able to trace all workflow connections across all of your workflows in your HubSpot portal. If you have any questions, do reach out to support@howley.io. My team and I are always more than happy to help out.